They told him never to question, never to doubt, never to think for himself. He was the son of an imam, raised to defend Islam, raised to fear God, not know him. But one question, one radio message, one encounter with Jesus Christ destroyed everything he thought he knew. This is the real story of the Muslim boy who risked his life to follow the truth. He was born in 1971 in the quiet Moroccan town of Sidi Ben Ar, into the home of a respected imam. From the moment he opened his eyes, his life was surrounded by the rhythm of prayer, tradition, and religious expectation. In that home, Islam was not just a faith, it was identity, family honor, and destiny. By the age of 6, little Rachid had already memorized a large portion of the Qur'an. While other children played freely, his childhood was shaped by discipline, memorization, and the constant reminder that he was the son of an imam. Questioning was unheard of. Doubt was unthinkable. In a home where faith was law, obedience was survival. As he grew into his teenage years, something unexpected happened, an interruption that would alter the course of his life. One day, by pure accident, he tuned into a Christian radio broadcast in Arabic. It was a message he had never heard before, a voice speaking of Jesus, salvation, forgiveness, and love. He wasn't interested in converting. He wasn't searching for a new faith. He was offended, angry, determined to defend Islam. So he reached out to the radio station. Letters turned into responses. Responses turned into long conversations. And long conversations turned into years of study, debate, and comparison between the Bible and the Qur'an. What began as an attempt to protect Islam slowly became a journey of sincere questioning. As he studied Christian scriptures, a strange and unfamiliar feeling began to rise within him. It wasn't rebellion. It wasn't confusion. It was a quiet awareness, an invitation to something deeper. He had always known a God of rules, a God of distant authority, a God whose love depended on performance. But now he was encountering a God who spoke through Christ with words like, "Come unto me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." He read a God who invited, not intimidated, a God who comforted, not threatened, a God who pursued, not punished. The more he studied Christianity, the more the walls of tradition inside him began to crack. But the fear of his father, the fear of society, the fear of bringing shame upon his family held him in chains. So for years he battled in silence, studying the Bible in secret, writing letters in secret, asking questions in secret. It was a 4-year struggle, a private war between loyalty to his upbringing and the truth he was discovering. Finally, in 1990, at the age of 19, after countless nights of wrestling with Scripture, he made the decision that changed his entire destiny. He surrendered his life to Jesus Christ. It was not an emotional reaction. It was a conviction formed through years of searching for truth. And the moment he accepted Christ, he felt a peace he had never known before, a peace that felt alive, a peace that felt personal, a peace that felt like God himself wrapping his arms around him. But that peace came with a price. When his parents found out he had left Islam, their home turned into a storm. His father, the imam, was shattered and furious. His mother wept. His siblings were afraid. In their eyes, he had not just changed his religion. He had betrayed his family, his culture, and everything they stood for. He was disowned, cast out, treated as though he no longer existed. Overnight, he lost family, identity, safety, and belonging. In Morocco, rejecting Islam is not a small mistake. It is a crime, a shame, a danger, for some, even a death sentence. With nowhere to turn and no safe place to hide, Rachid sought refuge in the Christian community. A missionary took him in. For a season he lived in hiding, learning, growing, and healing. But the threats grew too intense, the pressure too strong, the risk too high. Eventually, he had no choice but to flee the country he loved for his life. He escaped Morocco carrying nothing but his faith, his conviction, and the calling God had put in his heart. In exile, he began training for ministry. He studied the Bible deeply. He prepared, not knowing what God was shaping him for. Years later, he stepped into something no one could have predicted, a bold media ministry that would shake the Islamic world. By the mid-2000s, he appeared on satellite television on Al Hayat TV, speaking directly to millions across North Africa and the Middle East. He opened the phones, He welcomed questions. He created a space where people who were afraid to speak could finally think, explore, and discover. Many hated him, many threatened him, but many more found Christ through his voice. He became a lighthouse to seekers trapped in silence, a bridge between two worlds, a man who knew Islam deeply, yet knew Christ personally, a former imam's son who now preached the gospel without fear. His journey from memorizing the Qur'an to teaching the Bible became a testimony of courage, conviction, and unshakable faith. Today, Brother Rachid is one of the most influential Christian voices in the Arabic-speaking world. Through television, radio, and online platforms, he reaches millions. His ministry challenges traditions. His testimony inspires believers. His voice gives hope to those who feel trapped by fear, religion, or family pressure. And his life stands as living proof that when God calls a man, no system, no culture, no threat, and no darkness can stop God's light from breaking through. From the home of an imam to the global stage of evangelism, his story is a reminder that God still reveals himself. God still transforms lives. And God still reaches into the hearts of those searching for truth in silence. If this touched you, share it. Let someone else hear what God is doing. And subscribe for more true stories that glorify Jesus Christ.